Another day at the office. What's going on? Y'all doing all right?
Reporters on the left here, stay clear of the cameras on the hill.
Drake, through I think we're day 8 now. How are you feeling about your own performance and your progression?
Yeah, I think just keep going. I think just keep working, keep building chemistry. There's throws that I wish I had back, missed some touchdowns. 2 practices ago in the red zone. That's what you're out here for. I think I hurt myself on trying to make those throws and make the easy ones, but that's what it's out here. Timing and the guys up front are battling their butts off. It's a little better against the defense when we're able to run the football on them a little bit and they're not just playing the pass. So I think we're coming together, gelling nicely, and I think just keep on. We've got a good look with our defense. They got some good players over there, so we're getting some great work, and we just got to keep building it into joint practices and keep it going.
Do you feel an upward? You're not supposed to. You go ahead, Dougie. Do you feel an upward progression for yourself right now?
I mean, that's what you hope. I think I'm trying to get comfortable in this offense, kind of take the next steps as we go, and I think the real test will be when the games comes and when we get in these joint practices. So I'm looking forward. I'm proud of work we've done, and I feel good. I feel in a good spot, but I think it's still a lot of work left.
Sorry. You know how in baseball you're not supposed to talk about it when a pitcher has a no-hitter?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Does the same thing apply if a guy's gone through 6 practices of training camp and hasn't thrown a pick?
I think it's one of those things where I'm trying to take care of the football, and maybe they could have had a few here and there. I think Pep May should have had one on the first, practice. I joke with him about it, but yeah, I think that's a goal of ours to take care of the football, and I think not trying to, like I said, throw off the perfect game or no hitter, but I think that's part of it. I'm not scared to throw it. I'm still not gun shy. So
that's what's interesting to watch is you're still throwing it into tight areas. It's
Yeah.
not check down after check down. Do you feel as if you're an equal opportunity quarterback at this point because you're still getting to learn a lot of these players too?
Oh, 100%. I think it's it's easy to throw the check down or it's not realistic. Moving the football and getting big kind of chunk plays, which is the plays you want in games where you're not throwing the ball down the field and throwing it in tight windows. And I think I did a little bit of that in the spring, trying to throw in some tighter windows. And I think just threw a little more interceptions, but that's what you're out here for. You try to feel hey, can this work or can this work against these guys at this level? So I try to use it as that, and kind of once as we're closer to football time, start playing some real hey, take care of the football mindset.
Drake, Josh Dobbs was saying the other day that Josh McDaniels is trying to take advantage of the quarterbacks, all of your athleticism.
Yeah.
Do you see a change in philosophy in terms of how much they may or may not want you to run the football?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an even balance of gaining an extra hat. You having the quarterback be able to run the football, he's get an extra number. You make it 11 on 11 instead of 10 on 11. So I think it's always it's a useful, and I think at the end of the day, I'll make some plays kind of off schedule anyway. But mixing in the quarterback run game is something I'm open to, and I think it's always tough when a defense has to cover that and keep that in mind.
Josh is open to that, right?
I think whatever they put me up to, I'm up for it. So I think it's they do a good job, and coaches won some Super Bowls coaching the offense. So I'm kind of prepared for whatever.
Mike had mentioned yesterday when talking about the quarterback runs, like I get that these young players are fearless, but he has to learn how to protect himself. Are they hammering that point home to you? Like, hey, we need you for 17.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think I faced that in college. My first year, I was really kind of running around and doing some stuff I probably shouldn't have out there with pads on. So I think just taking care of my body and being smart, but also knowing when it's third down and when it's near the end zone. Like, I'm 6'5" and 230 pounds. Go get something. So.
Drake, I'm curious, with the offensive line, how are you seeing that come together throughout these, first week or so of training?
I think those guys are battling. I think they're battling. We're using different cadences. We're using different pros. We're changing mic points. Like, they're really getting a good grasp of it. I'm proud of those guys up front. We got next man up mentality. Some guys are getting banged up, and some guys are fighting through injuries. So just part of the position. They don't get enough love ever. And I think the coaching staff and what the offensive linemen doing, I think they will be doing throughout the whole season is going to be impressive.
Drake, in the spring you talked with Josh, working with him, but where do you feel like he's been able to help develop you the most, especially going through these first couple of days of a full padded practice?
Yeah, just playing the position. It's tough to coach the position, let alone play it. I think it's the big thing is having somebody in that room who wants to challenge you, wants to coach me hard. And you talking McDaniels or Dobbs? Coach, yeah, I'll talk about Coach anyway. But yeah, Dobbs has been great in the room as well. But Coach, yeah, I think who's done it at a high level, who's been a head coach, who's seen a lot of different stuff, who's seen the kind of evolution of the game of football in the past 20 years coaching it. So I think he's got a lot of experience, and I think I'm just trying to, ask some questions and pick his brain and try to, soak up everything I can.
Drake, in the spring you talked a lot about added expectations and, being a leader. Do you feel like the arrow is still pointing in the right direction here at this stage of Calvin?
It's hard to, put expectations on it, but I think, I like where we're at. I think we're practicing hard. We're coming out here in these walkthroughs and focusing in details, and I think there's going to be times where, there's days out here we didn't feel like we had as good as practice as we wanted. But right now I feel like we got a good, head of steam going. I think we're going to have a scrimmage tomorrow, which will be fun, splitting up the team. So I think looking forward to that. And I think, I think it's really, you find out you're going to have a chance every week, to go out there and prove yourself. And a lot of these games come down to one score. So this is what the details and the little things are about.
Drake, how much have you been working with specifically Stephon Diggs? It seems like already you guys have a nice rapport, especially down in the red zone. What does he do specifically well that you like to see as far as getting open and scoring?
I think it's just his mindset. It's attacking the football. A guy like that, with his stature, who's, caught a lot of touchdowns in this league and made a lot of big plays. He wants to go get the football. And he tells me all the time, just, if the ball's in the air, it's going to be mine. So I think it's comforting hearing that from those guys. And I think that's kind of starting to become something in the receiver room. That's the mindset. When the ball's in the air, go get it. So I think it's comfortable hearing that, and it's comfortable a guy who's also gone out there and proved it.
When he makes a comment like that, do you already have the confidence in him that when you throw the ball up there, like he's going to be able to catch it? Like, how do you kind of build that connection that you know if you're going to send that, he's got it?
Yeah, I mean, it comes with me making a good throw as well. So that's just trying to do my part and let those guys, they get paid, a lot of money, too. So let those guys make their plays, and just kind of comes off the, feeding off each other of letting them do their part and, kind of doing mine.
One of the things about Steph is that he doesn't tell you what you want to hear, he tells you what you need to hear.
Yeah.
Have you had that kind of experience?
I think that's huge. I think that's kind of what we're trying to build around here. I think it starts with, the head coach of telling you what you need to hear instead of what you want to hear. I think it's a good start to where we want to go. And I think, there's times where you need to love somebody up a little extra, but I think it comes down from the head coach, and it's kind of top down.
Your final questions, guys?
The pre-snap stuff is good.
Lack of interceptions. It seems like there's been a couple issues with center quarterback exchange.
Yeah.
What do you think is causing those, and do you think you guys have fixed it at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes it's fall camp, it's 95 degrees out here. But at the same time, we can't put the ball on the ground, and some of it's a little pre-snap. Be on the same page, and I think other than that, it's my part to get on there and get the ball. So it's not a big issue, and I think it's something that these guys have figured out. They got a tough job. They got not talking football, but they got a big 350-pound guy, and they're moving right, and they're snapping it with the same hand and then coming up to block them. It's a tough part on them, and it's just feeling stuff like that. That's pretty cool seeing how that stuff works out and how much that stuff changes. So.
Final question, guys.
Pre-snap stuff is going, just setting the protections and all that stuff that's on.
Yeah, help I did in college. Kind of sent the line. Me and my center, we kind of sent the line where we wanted and changed it, and a little bit of that. And there's a little bit of that last year of getting the protection right. But I think it's starting to come along. I think it's nice knowing it's my job to send those guys to the right spot and get them on the same page and get all those guys all loving us. It starts with me on kind of route the huddle of getting the guys in the right spot and getting the play started and starting with a good huddle. So I feel like I'm in a good spot, and I think those guys are doing a good job of listening to me, and if it's a look that we need to change it, they've done a great job. So thank you guys.